going on, Self Growth family, Soul Armor family, Coach Phil family, Learn to Soul family, so many families, man. I love it. As if the one I had already wasn't big enough. Shout out to that family, the whole Wallace family. Not gonna lie to y'all, you're gonna be seeing a lot of eye contact on this video. Driving, doing Coach Phil things, headed to a skill session. And so gotta hop out of the Clark Kent suit, put the Superman suit on real quick to coach these kids. I love it though. That's the life. Making this video, my big brother hit me up, asked me to make a video about, the importance of forgiveness of self, and why it's so key into your lifestyle. And I would like to say, man, it's vital, because you can't have real growth, you can't have real progress without it. Your identity, or you can't change. I'm sorry, there was a big mole or something crossing the street in the middle of the... Alright. I didn't know if it was a rat. Crystal Lake do better, man. Okay, so you can't sail away from something you have your identity anchored in, right? So if you feel that you're a drug addict, if you feel that you're damaged goods, if you feel that you're this angry person, if you're I just have anxiety and that's just who I am, I'm just a negative, blah, 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 whatever the case may be for you, what's going on, then you'll never change from that, because you've anchored your identity into that. And I was reading this book, and it talks about how most people have anchored their identity into events, and they've made events define them. So because you smoked this, or you took that drug or whatever, then you're a druggie or whatever for that phase or whatever, like that event. And they've rooted their identity into an event, but it's not you. If I asked you who you are, and you told me, okay, like I'm Tom, I work at this or this, okay, so without that job, would you not be Tom? Well, without that job, it would be Tom. Okay, so if that event didn't happen to you, would you still be Phil? Well, yeah, I would still. Without the basketball, I'm still Phil. Without Coastal, without I'm still Phil. Those are parts of my history. Those are events and things that I did or that I lived through. Yes, I did, the stuff in college, but that's not who I am now. You can change your identity if you change what you believe about yourself. And you have to forgive and move forward from the things that you've done in the past. And in the book that I wrote, Around the World with God in 45 Minutes, there's a scene where it's talking about I'm holding on to all this camping equipment, and I'm mad at God for not helping me out, because he's supposed to be the almighty one, and he's just sitting there watching your boy struggle. And he looks at me and says, well, I didn't ask you to carry this stuff. Put it down. Why are you holding on to the junk anyways? He snaps his fingers and the tents are up. A lot of watch people, and I talk to people, and I'm like, okay, so well, why are you this? Because I just want to be fixed, and I want to think about it, and I want to dwell on it, and I want to do all that stuff. Okay, how's it working out for you? Have you changed it yet? Have you fixed it? Have you actually healed from all those hours, days, months, years if you spent focusing on your negativity? Has it gotten you anywhere? No. Why? Because the world is too heavy for you to hold it yourself, man. Like, if you're trying to carry the world on your shoulders, and you gotta let God spot you on that, man. That's not for you. That's God's responsibility. So in the first area that I'm gonna talk about, man, give that stuff to God. It says, your sins were washed clean. That doesn't mean wash, but then you gotta still try to get the smudges out yourself. No, that's not your assignment. You're wasting your time. You're trying to physically cleanse a spiritual spot, and you're not capable. You have to give that to someone else, right? Second path, or way on this topic, keeping it spiritual, is the devil would love to keep your mind preoccupied on insignificant things or things of the past, because if your mind is stuck in the past, it'll never grow into the future, right? Keep a fool busy with something mediocre, and they'll never focus on abundance. They'll never focus on significance. Have someone's mind and just soul focused on the pain. They'll never focus on the happiness. Going back to the first part, when you talk, I challenge you, talk to your friends and ask them about their life, right? When you're having those deep heart-to-heart conversations, a lot of times they'll tell you about, I got this, my parents divorced, and I did this, and I was on these drugs, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that any of it's insignificant. I'm not saying that any of it didn't happen, and if it did happen to you, I apologize, and I hope that you heal from that. But at the same time, talk to some of those people. A little bit longer, doesn't have to be the same time, but a lot of those people have great things that happen to their lives, but they do not identify with those great things. So how can you have a great life if you don't identify with greatness at all? The greatness that happens to you. Okay, so, someone cheated and that's awful. But at the same time, you found this, you found that happened, this job, this promotion, these kids, like you have a great, your kids got straight A's, they're well spoken, this happened, you got that break, someone paid for your Starbucks, like you have a lot of good. Why don't you identify with the good? Why is that? Why do we only try to identify with the negative? And it's because our mind is focused on the wrong thing, man. And if you watch, a lot of people spend all their time talking about the negative, gossiping about the negative, having group huddles about the negative, making posts about the negative. And because that's what they spend their time with, they won't have time for the positive. If you spend all your time destroying, you will never build. Go to any playground, just kick Legos all day. You'll never build anything. Like, you just won't. Mentally, you walk around in your own mental sandbox, kicking over everything, or the building blocks and kicking over everything. That's why you don't ever build nothing. You haven't built yourself up, and it's because you're still shackled to the things that you've done in the past. Your identity is focused on things that you did when you was 18, 19, 20? Even if it was a year ago, you had 365 days to fix it and change it. 365 days. If you look at, so you did XYZ from your teens to your 20s or 30s. Okay, whatever. So 15 years. 15 years out of the 80, 90 years you're expected to live. So fourth, fifth, sixth of your life. 1/6 is going to determine, and not even the whole 1/6, because you weren't in pain for 15 years. You weren't a drug addict necessarily for 15 years. And if you were, so what? You still have the other 5/6 or whatever to fix it and change it, to heal, to focus on improvement, to focus on moving forward, to change lives. Listen, if I focus on all the bad stuff that did, the smoking, drinking, verbally assassinating people, all this, I'd never build anything. I wrote a Christian book that got an award after having a son out of wedlock. But I had to forgive myself first. And thank God I wrote that book and didn't think about the past, because a lot of people got their lives impacted by their books. I wouldn't make these videos. I wouldn't be able to coach kids if I'm just an awful person. No, get out of this video. Go look at my son. He's freaking gorgeous. Go look them cheeks, bruh. Right? Good comes out of stuff that we mess up from. If you don't mess up, if you don't have any type of negative past, and I don't want negativity to happen to you guys, but it's the negativity that allows me to connect to people like, yeah, man, I understand that. I know what it's like to not have electricity or food. But guess what, man? God's got a plan for you. But you have to take your eyes off of yourself and realize that this happened. Like, most people think that, okay, this bad stuff happened to me, poor, pitiful me. No. Your life incidences happen so that when you have them and you win them, other than giving God's glory, when he puts people in your path strategically, that's for you to be able to pass that forward. You took that test, you got the answers to that test, and you give it to the people who are going to take the test the next period. Hey, man, because I went through this, man, there's hope. If I got it, you got it too, man. If you need anything, I got you. Right? So what I'm saying is, you have to you have to forgive yourself if you ever want to move forward. Take the lessons. Listen, your hands are only this big, and my hands are huge, and I can only hold so much. The rest of that stuff is up to God, man. It's not up to Phil. It's not up to Steve. Give it to him. Secondly, mentally, stop letting the devil give your mind. Stop letting the devil set your mental schedule. Fill your calendar with negativity. Wipe it clean. Start doing something productive. That same time that you're spending thinking about all the flaws, you could be thinking a way to fix those flaws and making sure another person doesn't live through those flaws. There are probably 30, 40, 50 people on your Facebook right now who need you to overcome what you're going through so you can help them out. Take your eyes off of you and go serve someone else. All right, so love y'all. I got to go coach. Coach Phil out. Self Growth family, Learn to Self family, Soul Armor family. Love you guys. Stay blessed.